Snow fell gently outside the small cabin, its thick walls barely holding back the cold. You'd always loved Christmas, the warmth of the fire, the smell of the pine, but this year, something felt different. The legends whispered through town warned of mischievous visitors who roamed the countryside during the holiday season. It had all seemed like nonsense until the knock on your door that shattered the silence of the night. Cautiously, you opened the door, revealing the towering, horned figure of Krampus. His long, black tongue flicked out as he grinned, shaking the chains wrapped around his muscular arms. Behind him, the night seemed alive with shadows. He didn't speak, but his presence screamed a warning to you. You had been found. He stepped aside, revealing the rest of his entourage. A massive, glowing pair of eyes pierced the darkness. It was the Yule Cat, stalking forward with silent, padded steps. The creature was enormous, larger than a lion, its fur shimmering under the moonlight. It had paused, sniffing the air around you, as if judging whether you were worthy of its mercy. You shivered, remembering that only those who had received new clothes were safe from its hunger. You glanced nervously at the frayed edges of your old sweater. Suddenly, a high-pitched cackle filled the air as Frau Perchta appeared, her crooked form emerging from the dark. Her face was wrinkled like old parchment. Her bony fingers clutched a knife. You stepped back, heart pounding as she moved closer, her eyes scanning you for any sign of misdeeds that might justify her gutting blade. You prayed she didn't find one. From behind her, a chorus of laughter echoed through the woods as the Yule lads, 13 mischievous trolls, skipped forward, each more playful and dangerous than the last. One darted forward, skipping an apple from your table. Another began tapping furiously on your windows, making the panes tremble. Then, from the darkness, you heard a deep rumble. The ground seemed to shake. A monstrous figure with gnarled horns stepped forward. Gryla, mother of the Yule lads, with a cauldron strapped to her back. She gave a toothy grin as her troll children danced around her, their eyes gleaming with mischief. Before you could react, a strange light caught your attention. Glancing to the side, you saw a ghostly figure. The Mary Lloyd. The skeletal horse from Welsh legend, draped in white sheet, its eerie, hollow eyes locked on you. It neighed softly, challenging you to battle of wits and song. The air hummed with ancient magic. Suddenly, a slap on the door made you jump. The figure of the Belschnickel appeared, covered in ragged furs. He raised an eyebrow at you, holding out a handful of coal in one hand and candy in the other.
"Have you been good this year?"
he asked with a sly smile. The night grew colder, the wind howling louder, as if it too were part of the menacing company. You looked at each of them, Krampus, Frau Perchta, the Yule Cat, and the rest. The legends were true, every warning, every whispered tale. Suddenly, the Kalikantzeroi, the goblin-like creature from Greek lore, burst through the open door, laughing as they scattered gifts under the tree, breaking ornaments and tossing logs from the fireplace. The room erupted in chaos, their wild eyes gleaming with delight. You were surrounded, every exit blocked by some ancient creature from your worst Christmas nightmares. For a moment, the fear gripped you, but then, strangely, you felt a smile creep into your face. These weren't spirits of joy and giving, but they were Christmas legends all the same. In a voice steady with resolve, you reached into your pocket and pulled out a new pair of gloves you'd received that afternoon. The Yule Cat hissed and retreated into the shadows. Then, with a flick of your wrist, you tossed a piece of candy to the Belschnickel, who caught it with a nod of approval. And just like that, the night of the Cryptids vanished as suddenly as it had began. The wind outside died down, and the warmth of the fire filled the room once more. You stood alone in the quiet cabin, heart still racing, wondering whether anyone would believe what you had just witnessed. But deep down, you knew the truth. Christmas was more than presents and carols. It was a time of legends, of mischief, and of ancient beings who came out just once a year to remind you that magic, dark, and light still lingered in the snow. And you survived a night with them all. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. My name is Stone Rock, and today we're doing Christmas legends from around the world. I say around the world. Most of these are based in Europe. In the US, we don't really have things like this. The US being a melting pot, it's really just kind of all of them that came over. But we really only ever talk about Santa Claus here. But before we get into today's top 10, this is a top 10 list, by the way. Before we get into it, why not leave a little like, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, that way you're notified whenever we upload new content. And let's get into it. Krampus, Central Europe. Who is he? Krampus is the most iconic of Christmas cryptids, originating from Alpine folklore, particularly in Austria, Germany, and Hungary. He is a half-goat, half-demon figure who serves as St. Nicholas's enforcer, punishing the naughty children. With long, curled horns, a forked tongue, and chains he drags through the streets. Krampus is far from jolly. He often carries a sack or basket on his back, used to cart off misbehaving kids to his lair, or worse, to hell. Why is he scary? Well, Krampus doesn't just scold children. He actively seeks to terrorize them. During Krampusnacht, the night of December 5th, he roams the streets with bells and chains, looking for those who have misbehaved. Unlike the passive punishment of coal, Krampus offers a brutal, physical alternative, where children might be beaten with birch rods or even kidnapped. The fear he instills is so intense that many European countries celebrate Krampus by holding festivals where people dress up in his likeness, keeping the legend alive. His roots trace back to pre-Christian pagan traditions where he likely represented an evil spirit of the winter solstice. The Yule Cat, Iceland. The Yule Cat, known as Jólakatturinn in Icelandic folklore, is a giant menacing feline that roams the snowy countryside during Christmas. The story goes that the Yule Cat will devour anyone who hasn't received new clothes by Christmas Eve. This bizarre connection to clothing comes from the fact that historically, farmers in Iceland would reward their workers with new garments for processing all of the wool before the holidays. Those who were lazy and didn't complete their work risked facing the Yule Cat's wrath. Why is it scary? The Yule Cat is no ordinary house pet. It's a massive, predatory beast that judges people based on their productivity. Those who didn't earn new clothes could be eaten alive. The Yule Cat plays into Iceland's long tradition of winter myths, where survival was often a matter of preparation and hard work. In this context, the Yule Cat serves as a cautionary tale, encouraging people to be industrious. Its legend also ties more into the playful but equally mischievous Yule lads, reinforcing Icelandic Christmas as both a time of celebration and potential peril. Frau Perchta, Austria, Germany. Who is she? Frau Perchta is one of the more gruesome figures of Alpine folklore, with a reputation for duality. In some stories, she's a beautiful, benevolent figure who rewards the hardworking and virtuous, but in her darker form, she is depicted as a haggard, terrifying witch who roams the countryside during the 12 days of Christmas, December 25th to January 6th, searching for those who have misbehaved or failed to perform their duties. Why is she scary? If you've been lazy or unkind, Frau Perchta doesn't just leave you with a scolding. She performs a terrifying ritual. She slits open your stomach, removes your organs, and stuffs the cavity with straw or pebbles before sewing you back up. This gruesome punishment is said to be reserved for those who fail to observe the traditions of the season, such as spinning wool or keeping a tidy home. However, Frau Perchta doesn't just punish the lazy. She also ensures that children behave by enforcing moral rules. In many regions, Perchta is known to lead an entourage of unique undead, or Perchten, who help her carry out her grisly tasks. Grýla. Who is she? Grýla is a legendary giantess who lives in the mountains of Iceland and comes down during Christmas time to abduct misbehaving children. She has a reputation for being particularly ruthless, cooking children she catches in her cauldron and making a stew out of them. Grýla is also the mother of the mischievous Yule lads, 13 prankster figures who each have their own mischief to cause during the holiday season. Why is she scary? Grýla's legend dates back to at least the 13th century, making her one of the older Christmas cryptids. Her story was likely used as a way to terrify children into behaving during the long, harsh winters in Iceland. She is depicted as an ogress with a seemingly insatiable hunger for children, and no matter how many she catches, she is never satisfied. While Grýla is associated with Christmas, she also has pagan roots, embodying the dangers of winter itself: starvation, darkness, and isolation. Her appetite for bad children reflects the harsh realities of the season and time before modern comforts. The Yule Lads, Iceland. Who are they? The Yule Lads are Grýla's 13 troll-like sons who visit homes during the 13 nights leading up to Christmas. Each Yule Lad has his own specific type of mischief. Some of the more famous ones include Spoonlicker, who steals spoons to lick them; Sheepcote Claude, who harasses sheep; the Door Slammer, who slams doors to wake people up in the middle of the night. Despite their mischief, the Yule Lads also leave small gifts, or rotting potatoes in children's shoes, depending on whether they've been good or bad. Why are they scary? While they are not outright malicious like their mother, the Yule Lads still cause considerable chaos. Their pranks range from harmless annoyances like stealing milk or slamming doors, to more troubling acts like stalking livestock. Historically, they were far more menacing in Icelandic folklore, depicted as dangerous creatures who kidnap children, much like Grýla. However, in modern times, they've been softened into more playful tricksters. Still, the tradition of leaving gifts or punishment in the form of rotten potatoes creates a lingering unease. It is kind of funny though that like the Yule Lads are like just mischievous tricksters nowadays. Like, you know, something's chased your cat around the house. Oh, it's a Yule Lad. You got ghosts in your house slamming doors. Nope, it's Christmas time. The Yule Lads. It's funny. And the whole rotten potatoes thing is funny as hell too. But the Kalikansari of Greece. Who are they? The Kalikansari are malevolent goblin-like creatures from Greek folklore who surfaced from the underworld during the 12 days of Christmas, from Christmas to Epiphany. They spend most of the year underground, sawing away the world tree to bring down the apocalypse. But when Christmas arrives, they climb to the surface and run rampant through villages, causing mischief. Why are they scary? The Kalikansari might not be as physically imposing as some of the other cryptids on this list, but their chaotic, goblin-like behavior can cause a lot of trouble. They spoil food, terrorize livestock, and generally make life difficult for humans. What makes them truly eerie, though, is their connection to the end of the world. According to legend, while they're on Earth, the world tree heals itself, delaying the apocalypse until the next Christmas season. These creatures represent a direct connection to chaos and destruction, and the fact that they only come out at night gives them an almost vampiric nature, adding to their sense of mystery and fear. Belsnickel, Germany and Pennsylvania Dutch. Who is he? Belsnickel is a grizzled, fur-clad figure from German and Pennsylvania Dutch folklore, who visits homes in the weeks leading up to Christmas. Unlike Santa, who rewards good behavior, Belsnickel confronts children directly, asking them to prove that they've been good. He carries both gifts and a bundle of switches, punishing bad children by hitting them while rewarding the good ones with candy and small treats. Why is he scary? The Belsnickel is a figure of judgment. He is gruff, demanding, and not afraid to dole out physical punishment. His rough appearance and intimidating demeanor make him a more fearsome version of Santa Claus, as he directly questions children about their behavior. If they've been good, he hands them sweets, but if not, they're met with the sting of a switch. The Belsnickel embodies the idea of Christmas is not just about giving, but also ensuring moral behavior. The Mary Lloyd, from Wales. Who is the Mary Lloyd? It's a spectral figure from Welsh Christmas and New Year's traditions. She is represented by a horse's skull, often draped in a white sheet, and is carried by a group of people who travel from house to house, singing and challenging households to verbal rhyming battles. If Mary Lloyd and her entourage win the Battle of Wits, they are invited inside for food and drink. Why is it scary? Despite the festive nature of the Mary Lloyd tradition, there's something deeply unsettling about a horse's skull knocking on your door at night. The hollow eyes and skeletal form evoke death, making the tradition a strange mix of lighthearted fun and eerie symbolism. Mary Lloyd's roots are believed to stretch back to pre-Christian times, where she may have represented a death figure tied to the winter solstice, a time when the veil between the living and the dead was thought to be thinner. Hans Trapp, from France. Who is he? In the region of Alsace, France, Hans Trapp is a dark counterpart to St. Nicholas, much like Krampus in other parts of Europe. According to the legend, Hans Trapp was a wealthy but cruel man who turned to occult practices and Satan worship in his quest for power. As punishment, he was excommunicated and banished to the woods, where he began to dress as a scarecrow and prey upon children. Eventually, he was struck down by a lightning bolt from God, but continues to roam the land as an evil spirit. Why is he scary? Hans Trapp's story is that of a man who became a monster through his own greed and evil, unlike Krampus, who serves as a clear moral function as an enforcer of good behavior. Hans Trapp is more unpredictable and sinister, acting out of pure malice. His scarecrow-like appearance, with straw sticking out from his ragged clothes, makes him a terrifying figure, and his willingness to cannibalize children adds a layer of primal fear. Pierre Fouettard. Who is he? Pierre Fouettard is a sinister character from French and Belgian folklore who accompanies St. Nicholas on his rounds. While St. Nicholas rewards good children with gifts, Pierre, literally father whipper, punishes the naughty ones by whipping or beating them. His origin story is particularly gruesome. One version claims that he was a butcher who murdered 3 boys, intending to eat them, but was caught by St. Nicholas and forced to repent by becoming his servant. Why is he scary? Pierre Fouettard. Pierre Fouettard's origin is a children murderer, and Pierre Fouettard's origin as a child murderer who was forced into servitude is one of the darkest story times. Pierre Fouettard's origin as a child murderer who was forced into servitude is one of the darkest backstories of any Christmas cryptid. His role as an enforcer of punishment, combined with his violent past, makes him a truly menacing figure. Dressed in dark robes with a whip or a rod in hand, Pierre Fouettard is an embodiment of harsh physical retribution for bad behavior, a stark contrast to the more benevolent and forgiving St. Nicholas. Christmas may be a time of joy and celebration, but these cryptids remind us. Cryptis.
Seriously, what the fuck are you doing?
Cryptis. Christmas may be a time of joy and celebration, but these cryptids remind us that the season also has a dark side. While you're sipping hot cocoa by the fire, keep an eye out for strange shadows and mysterious figures. They might just be coming to check out whether you've been naughty or nice. So, that's it for the 10 list. Which one of these is your favorite? It's probably Krampus. He seems to be the one that everybody knows more about. Krampus is a pretty well-known figure, but that's going to do it for today's video. No video tomorrow as it's Christmas, and I expect everybody will be with family. And if you're not with family, my mustache is tickling my nose. If you're not with family, you can always tune in to Beardo's Christmas stream. You can tune into any of the Christmas streams. I will share the post in my community tab for anyone that has it. I will not be doing anything for Christmas as my daughter is with her mom this year. But I will be around. I'm not sure I'm going to be in all of the Christmas lives, but I will certainly be around in a few of them. I might just play video games all day. I don't know. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Oh, by the way, if you like what we do here, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below which one of these was your favorite. If you want to support the channel, you can hit the little merch shelf down below. Check out some of the dopest merch ever. Let me know if I should do some limited edition Christmas merch, and then I'll leave it up, until the end of January or something like that, right? Let me know. Maybe we can do like seasonal stuff depending on seasons. But if you want to support more directly, you can always become a member. Members get their own videos. Members got a video of me going over how I edit this kind of stuff. And a lot of the times I'm actually in the Discord editing videos in the lounge section. So join the Discord. You can keep up with stuff like that. My dog making noise in the background. That's cool. You can also, there's a PayPal link up above. You can directly support the channel doing that. Anything gained through PayPal goes back into the channel to keep all of this going. But I thank you guys so much, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.
Krampus creep, demonic in the snow, claws out, dragging kids below. Yule cat prowling as a sinister glow, and Iceland's night, it's feast or go. Proper style with that twisted smile, slicing bellies, making Yule worthwhile. Gryla lurks, munching on the file. 13 Yule lads, mischief their style. Christmas ain't just joy and cheer, folklore hides the beasts we fear. Ghosts and ghouls, the darkness near. Tune in fam, the truth is clear. Calicut the goblin horde, chaos reigns bringing discord. Bells nickel with his bag of swords, judges kids, none get bored. All merry allowing the spectral sight, knocking doors in the dead of night. Skull of a mare, what a fright, spooky tales out of sight. Christmas ain't just joy and cheer, folklore hides the beasts we fear. Ghosts and ghouls, the darkness near. Tune in fam, the truth is clear. The goblin horde, chaos reigns bringing discord. Bells nickel with his bag of swords, judges kids, none get bored. Oh merry light, the spectral sight, knocking doors in the dead of night. Skull of a mare, what a fright, spooky tales out of sight. Christmas ain't just joy and cheer, folklore hides the beasts we fear. Ghosts and ghouls, the darkness near. Tune in fam, the truth is clear.